Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NASCAR News Center for a very special announcement with Richard Petty and Darrell Wallace Jr. Of course, we're on NASCAR's Facebook channel. It's Facebook Live, so if you have questions about what we're about to announce, make sure you send those in. We'll answer those questions for you. But, Bubba, plans for next year? You want to announce that right now?
Yeah, I'm starting up a race team, and we're going to have Richard drive for me. So.
Oh, that's perfect.
That sounds good. Yeah, you own the team, let me drive it.
But no, I'm going to be driving the iconic number 43 for this guy right here and everybody at RPM and the whole Petty family. So I'm ecstatic right now. It's good times.
Richard, why Darrell Wallace Jr. for the 43?
Well, you know, we've used him when we had trouble with Eric, and he kept getting better and better and better. And we're looking next year making a lot of different changes at RPM. And the trend now is younger drivers anyway, okay? So once they kind of did a preview for us, we said, hey, this is the way we need to go. So we've been working on that for the last, couple of months and stuff, and getting everybody squared away, trying to get with our sponsors and make sure everybody knows what's going on. And so to us, from our standpoint, where we're at in racing right now, it was a no-brainer.
Darrell, you turn your head, and I mean, we look over here, the Hall of Fame's behind us. Mm-hmm. There will always be a 43 on Glory Road there. What's it kind of mean to you to be able to drive a 7-time champion's race car?
Yeah, it's such an honor. So I just can't thank Richard enough for the opportunity, and even back to August when I had the shot to showcase what I'm all about and give it my all for those 4 races that I had, and I wanted to represent not only myself the best the way I could, but their team, his brand, his image, and the number 43, because that's the one of the most iconic numbers in NASCAR, and it's something that I continue to cherish and will and do the best that I can for the 2018 season. Richard,
I look back at Kentucky, and Darrell finished 11th in that race. It was a brand new repave, and you got a guy who's that was his 4th race in a Cup car, finishes 11th at Kentucky. Did that kind of seal the deal in your mind that this guy's legit?
Put it this way, it helped, okay? Because he started out the first race, I think we were in Pocono, and he got caught 3 times speeding down pit road. Four times, okay. Down pit road, not on the racetrack. And, then the next race he got better, the next race he got better. And like I say, Kentucky was all new to everybody. So he adapted really quick. What I liked about it was he worked so good with our crew chief and our crew. In other words, it was just as if he'd been there for, 6 months or a year. And so that just made it easier for him, made it a lot easier for us.
All right, again, we want to remind everybody that we're on Facebook Live. Make sure you send in your questions. We will ask the King and Bubba these questions live on air, so if you have a burning question, you can ask them about that. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what are your expectations going into next year? Daytona 500, what do you anticipate the nerves being like in that car it's won that race 7 times?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I'm going to treat it the same way I treated these 4 races earlier this year, is don't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low. Be even keel about it, and just try to maintain all the pressure that I can and manage it the best. And I think Daytona in July was a whirlwind for us, getting up there a little bit, falling back, getting back up there. We just kind of went through the cycle, and we wound up finishing 15th. So there were a lot of good things to take away from that. And it's just surviving. I mean, it's the name of the game is to survive, because the Cup drivers are always, downplaying the Xfinity guys and truck guys on how we wreck a lot, but those guys wreck just as much. So we'll try to steer clear and just get number 43 in victory lane.
Richard, what do you expect from this guy next year?
I guess we're going into it pretty open. We know where we've been in the last 4 or 5 years, and we've got to maintain at least that, okay, and then go forward from there. We've been pretty fortunate in being able to say 15th to 20th. We want to go from 10th to 15th now and be on a regular basis. Then you've got a chance then from time to time, to finish in the first 5 or even win a race. The way the races and stuff goes today, with the intermissions they have, that changes everything. And then probably 2/3 of the races we have, with 5 or 6 laps to go, they have a caution flag, starts all over again. So, put yourself in that position is what we got to do.
Now, the 43, that's a legacy. That's your family legacy. You built that brick by brick. How much trust do you have to have in a young guy to put him behind the wheel of that, and what's it speak about the character of this guy?
Well, it's kind of a deal that if you look back at his history, starting out in the go-karts and just working his way up and stuff like that, and he's been fairly successful everywhere he's been. And the deal is that we want to give him a chance to stay somewhere, know that he's concrete there, and then he can start building on that, and we can build with him. A lot of times he just, like he comes in for 4 races and he knows that's it. He just does his thing and lets it go. But if he knows he's going to be there for 36 races next year, then he can build on that, get confidence in himself, and also we can have confidence in him better.
All right, for both of you guys, Dylan Seidel asks, do you see a potential win in the future?
Absolutely. I think we would.
Future's a long way out there, man.
It is. But we wouldn't be sitting here together if we didn't think we could be a winning combination. That's for sure. And there's a lot of good things that are in the works at RPM for the 2018 season that I think all of us are excited about, and we can't wait to seal the deal. But we're just going to keep working hard, and I've won a lot of races, not as many as he has, but we both have the winning factor, and I really think we can pull that off next year.
Richard, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just like him. The circumstances beyond a lot of our control. The deal is we've got to be consistent enough to take advantage of circumstances when they do fall our way, and I think we can do that. I think he's level-headed enough to be patient enough in a lot of situations to get through all the stuff that goes on so that we can get to the end of the race. And I think he's a pretty good racer when it really comes down to, hey, we got to get it done in 2 or 3 laps.
All right, Bubba. Ian Michael wants to know, what is your favorite racetrack on the Cup circuit?
Favorite racetrack is Dover, hands down. Get to go a little bit faster next year. I didn't think I could go any faster than what I've been in, but we've had a lot of success there, and that's one of the coolest places to go to on the circuit. And we're already counting down the days till we get there.
All right, Charles Anthony asked about your personal goals for the 2018 season.
Personal goals is like Richard said, is just be consistent. Let's build off of what they've come off this previous year and just try to better it each and every race, and not overstep the boundaries and put ourselves in a bad spot. I think that's the biggest thing, because when you do that, then that just puts you behind the 8 ball and you're playing catch up. So we just want to maximize on every opportunity, go out there and showcase that we can run 5th all day, or if it's a 20th place car, then we just have to manage it the best and try to get the best finish that we can.
All right, what was the phone call like, or the in-person meeting like, when you got the green light that you were Richard's guy for 2018? What was that feeling?
Yeah, we've had multiple conversations about it, and there was some stuff in the talks, stuff in the works that went up and down, back and forth, and now I was finally able to get it sealed.
I think when we first talked, me and him had a deal. But we got the lawyers involved and all the and all
took
the
a lot
sponsors.
longer.
You can't just do a lot of stuff because that's what you want to do. It involves so many people that I've got to make sure the crew says that this is going to be good. The sponsors is good. And get the lawyers on our side.
Yeah.
And I think what we finally done is just sit down and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Y'all put it down on paper.
That's what it was. As simple as that. And I was pumped that day, and I'm still pumped to this day.
Richard Schmidt wants to know, what's your favorite Richard Petty moment of all time?
Favorite Richard Petty moment? There's 200 of them that I can think of.
Other than the phone call to you.
Yeah, I think just being around him and knowing more about him, and there's a lot of people in this sport that everybody looks up to, but I think Richard walks around and the room gets quiet when he walks in. Like, he sets this tone. You set this tone, but now that I know him, it's like, I'm just going to bust that little bubble he's got around him because I know him. So it's something you can just be totally relaxed about, and he likes to cut up and have fun just as much as I do. All
right, let's see. Josh Atobri wants to know, are you and Ryan Blaney going to have fun racing each other on Sundays?
I think so. This isn't K&N days. This isn't the Trucker Xfinity days. We're there. And, for myself, Blaney, Chase, LaJoy, all the guys that we grew up racing together, Ty Dillon, Austin Dillon, we're there. We've made it from, Charlotte Motor Speedway, racing Bandoleros and Legend cars to the Cup level. And there's no more like, let's race hard, around each other. It's literally, you go out there and give respect to get respect. And that's something that I'm looking forward to, because we all know how to do it, and we've done it. We've all beat each other before, and we're ready to do it again.
Richard, you've been in the Cup Garage for quite a while. Who does Darrell remind you of in terms of maybe driving style and personality?
You know, I don't know yet. Okay, I've been around him, but not personally. Okay, I've seen him in action on the racetrack, off the racetrack, how he handles himself with the fans and with sponsors. And, you know, I think he fits the petty mold, okay, as far as, you know, treat the people like you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And so far he's been pretty good. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be right behind him straightening him out. Okay?
No pressure at all, right?
None at all.
All right. Richard Randall wants to know, what would it mean for your first win to come in the Daytona 500?
Oh, that'd be big. Big
Big,
Trevor
big,
Bain, Trevor Bain moment there, right? And you know, anything can happen. You know, like you said, we got to make sure we're there at the end for that late race caution to be able to capitalize on that, because you never know who's going to win. And looking back at Talladega, this past race at Talladega this year, I didn't know who was going to win. It come down to the final stretch there. So as long as we're in that spot, you know, we can make the most of it. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that race. I get that. And so it's going to be a lot of studying for me, doing my homework, making sure, you know, I make the best moves possible to keep us in that spot to try to capitalize on.
Richard, you're well known for never turning down an autograph to anybody. Have you kind of been schooling him on that to make sure?
Not
you know
yet.
that
I've got to get around the deal. I got to check it and make sure that you can read it when it gets cold. Okay, that kind of stuff, and take the time to do it. So
Right.
we're going through a process here. Okay, we got to get to know each other. We got to our moods and all that kind of stuff, and how everything works out. And so you don't just jump in there and try to solve all the problems or all the things at one time. You sort of take what's in front of you, take care of that, and then you go to the next one. So I think he'll do okay with that stuff.
Pete Graham wants to know about your chemistry with that team over the 4 races that you spent with him. How much did you build on that, and how much are you looking forward to build?
Oh, we are. Let's see. I worked with Drew indirectly for 2 or 3 races in 2016 when he did some races on the Xfinity side at Roush. And so he knew a little bit about me. I didn't know much about him. I still don't know how to spell his last name, but I'm looking forward to working with him being the crew chief and having that position. And the guys he surrounded himself with around that 43 car this year was a great group of guys. We had a lot of fun each and every time I showed up to the racetrack. They made it a lot easier for me, and it didn't seem like it was my first or second race. It just seemed like, hey, we're here at the racetrack this weekend. Let's go out and get the job done. I remember going into Pocono, I told Drew, I was like, let's do a team dinner so I can at least get to know people and put faces together. And it took us 30 minutes, and it was just like family. And that's how Richard likes to run. It's just like family. And so it was pretty special to get to know them and get to know Drew. And even, you know, behind the scenes people is just so supportive of every decision that he makes, and it just makes the whole process a lot easier.
All right, last question for you, Richard. You know, you, from the autographs, from everything else, from obviously the ways Bubba is describing the company, is that something that you kind of, you know, make a point to instill in every employee at Richard Petty Motorsports is, hey, let's take time, let's be good to each other, let's get to know each other and invest in each other?
Basically, it has to be a family. We have to get along amongst ourselves. But all the people that come to the races, all the people that buy our products and stuff, you know, we're responsible to them. We have to treat them good so they buy our products so we get enough money to go race it. And so we try to instill, again, you know, if you're standing there and one of my guys walk up or you change position, how would you feel? You know, how would you like to be treated? Try to treat the people that way, and you know, most of the time I do a pretty good job.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our Facebook Live on NASCAR's Facebook channel. Richard, Darrell, we appreciate you joining us, and we wish you success in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate it.